Hello, everyone, Rand here, and today we're going to be working on the ceilings here again in my house, this time on the dining room side. For those of you maybe seen, think it's probably going to be the last video. I'm going to depend on which order I upload the videos in. But we sanded the ceiling on the living room side. Now we're going to try to sand the ceiling on the dining room side, everyone. And I don't know if you can tell the texture, everyone, if I point the camera here. We got a slight, what I would call a slight acoustic texture, popcorn texture. I'm not exactly sure what you would call it, everyone. It's not a very heavy texture. Again, I don't necessarily have a problem with the texture, everyone. It does need to be like painted and clean because there's various spots up there. I'm not sure what paint would necessarily do to that. But I also need to be able to blend the new walls into the ceiling, everyone. And that's where I kind of want to have it smooth for that. Because again, the new wall is going to be smooth going up into the ceiling, right, everyone? And I figured at the time, and I'm thinking maybe I was wrong on this, I was just, make the entire ceiling smooth, right? Can't be that hard to remove the texture. Yeah, boy, was I wrong, everyone. So, for those of you seen this video, everyone, I ended up taking a belt sander to it. Took me, I don't know, probably 8, 12 hours, somewhere, I forget exactly, but it took me a long time. And one serious shoulder neck ache to finish that one, but we got it done, I think, maybe. I'm not sure if that's going to be good enough or not, but if you look across, you can see it is at least somewhat smoother. Going back to this side again, you can hopefully see the texture of one. And again, like I said, emphasize, I don't have a problem with the texture, except I just want to be able to paint the whole thing, blend it in with the wall, so we're going to attempt to make this smooth here again. One real quick comment here too, Evan. I have tried the water trick of wetting this down and seeing if I can scrape it off, Evan. That does not work. I tried it. It doesn't work, Evan. And my theory behind it, and maybe for those of you who maybe know more about this than I do, you can enlighten me, but my theory is, Evan, when they did the ceiling, they put the texture in right away. Like the texture of one is built into the ceiling, right? It's not... If we go to the dining room, and apologies, I don't have the light on, but you're probably not going to be able to see this. This texture, one I suspect, was added after the fact. So, like, the ceiling was smooth, then they textured it. So that ceiling down there, everyone will probably be able to come off, just wet it down, and it'll scrape on. In fact, I don't even know if you have to even do that. It'll probably just scrape right off if I had to guess. But this ceiling, everyone, does not do that. This, like I said, I think they did the texture at the time they put the ceiling on, and it's all, like... It's all one, and it is, oh my goodness, Evan. It's plaster, by the way. So we're going to attempt to sand this. Now, on the living room side of it, I went with the belt sander. After trying all kinds of things that did not work, I finally went with the belt sander, and that seemed to sort of work. I won't say it worked great, but it worked. This time, everyone, I'm going to try it here with my drywall sander with these Bauer sanding discs I have. I tried these just a little bit here on the living room side. It seemed like they worked, so I'm going to give them a try over here. These aren't very expensive, so if I go through a couple of them, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to see if it works. I don't know if it is, and if it doesn't have one, you folks know what that means. It's probably going to be back to the belt sander, and this is probably going to take like another 8 hours to sand this. And it's not that it takes that long to sand everyone, but you folks ever try holding a belt sander up against the ceiling? Yeah, you'll know. You'll know. Okay, I'm sorry for the long-winded answer here, but first things first, we need to get all this stuff out of here because I don't want to make a mess on it. We'll probably even take like the Christmas trees over there and I'll move them over to this side here somewhere or something. Shove the couch in there. Just keep this stuff as clean as possible. So let me move this stuff here a minute, and then we'll get started. Okay, when all furniture removed and most of the things removed from the walls here as well, I think we're ready to start trying to make a mess in here. Well, I've been taking a look up at the ceiling here. We're making progress here slowly but surely. Emphasis on the slowly but surely. Kind of the same thing on the other side here as well. It was definitely slow going there with the belt sander as well, so I don't know if this is much quicker or not. The one maybe big difference with this one, and maybe you'll notice this in the video, is I can hold this sander up here much longer than I can the belt sander. I do have to set it down every so often just to take a quick break, but unlike the belt sander where I could only hold it up for, 10, 20, 30 seconds or so, I want to do some quick sand and put it back down for a couple minutes. This I can almost sand continuously, so it feels like you're getting more done. I don't know. Maybe not, though, and maybe not. Anyway, we're going to keep sanding, see what we can get done. Okay, just another update here, everyone. I'm sanded up to about the light here. In fact, if you look real close, you can probably see, let me get a hand out so it actually focuses. You can see where it's kind of been like knocked down almost, everyone. It's almost like the sander gives it a knocked down look versus this. If you run your hand across this, is like super gritty and rough. It's like running your hand across like 20 grit sandpaper, some extreme grit, right, everyone? But this is, you can run your hand across this and it's fairly smooth. So anyway, if I back up here just a little bit, kind of have like from here to the wall to finish it, and then kind of the light down the center. So we're getting there, everyone. I think this is going faster here than the belt sander. I don't know, it's going, Evan. It's going, let's put it that way. Well, I think that's going to do it here for this video on this ceiling for now. There's probably going to be some more work here at some point, but for now we're going to call this a wrap. Just went around and finished sanding the corner of them, and I think that looks pretty good. What do we got going on here? Okay. Looks worse on the camera than I thought it was. Looks like just a little bit of paper that's a little thin there on the mud. Looks like that should be okay. So anyway, yeah, on that one, we're going to probably at some point here, and I'm not sure how soon that will be, but we're going to throw some paint up here at some point and see what that looks like. So until that happens, that's the way the ceiling is going to sit. I could definitely see, by the way, that this ceiling is not as smooth as this ceiling, because again, this ceiling here, we hit this with a belt sander. This one, just the drywall sander. So we'll see how much of a difference that makes. I don't know, no idea. So anyway, if you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time. By the way, I just got to point out, these are all the sanding pads I went through. There's probably about a dozen of them here. I've been going through on just this ceiling here. I had 5 of the Bauer ones, and then I'm not sure how many of the other ones here. So yeah, that ceiling, was hard on these sanding pads. Very hard.